Hello friends, welcome to 10 Points Under, and sorry I'm not better looking. This is Big Bullfrog, aka Taylor, and joining me today for a very special video is a good friend, an excellent Heroscaper, an excellent player, future top player of the world, BodaciousBlood.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. That was too generous of an intro, but I'll take it.
Okay, now you have to live up to it, that's all.
Oh, gee.
BodaciousBlood and I were, talking like we do, and basically we felt that it'd be nice to have a little bit of an updated video for how to play Heroscape online. And I thought, it'd be kind of nice to have that for my channel as well, because if you've watched the channel before, most of it is online. I've got hopes and dreams for live action stuff in the future, but I mean, it's all been online so far, and it's just really easy. And we thought it'd be good to have an updated video for playing online if you're new to it. Not that the old how to play online Heroscape is bad at all, but it's just a little outdated in a couple areas. And so we're making this video to update it, to show the new features, and to hopefully include a pretty exhaustive list of tips, the tricks, the cool things that you can do when you're playing online, because there's a lot of tools you can use, but I feel like sometimes a lot of those get lost because they're hidden in various threads throughout the Heroscaper's website.
Absolutely. And when I was starting to play online Heroscape, probably midway through last year, I looked at all the forums and they like you said, they're outdated, and it's kind of hard to make sense of everything as somebody that's just walking into online Heroscape by themselves. So that's kind of why we came up with the idea of doing the webinar earlier this year, to kind of provide a way, while people aren't able to go to the game stores as often or get together with friends as often, make a video to show people how to get connected with through Heroscape, through online, and so kind of update those videos, make it so even if you don't have a friend like Taylor holding your hand through the whole thing like I did, you can still pick up this video, learn how to play online Heroscape, learn how to join an event, learn how to make your own games, and play with your friends online.
Yeah, exactly. And our goal for this, you'll notice if you wiggle your mouse down close to the bottom of the screen, there will be the time bar, and there will be timestamps for specific parts of the video. If you want to skip ahead, if you're just looking to see how to create a game online, you can skip right to that part. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Like I said, I want this to be exhaustive, but I also want it to be convenient for you guys viewing it, so that you don't have to just be like, okay, when do you talk about this specific thing that I'm looking for? You can just jump right to it. If you're new to playing online and you want to try out an event, we'll start by showing how you do the basic log in stuff, how you get into the game, how you bring in an army, how you play a game, because if you're playing in an event, you don't have to create your own map and stuff like that, but we will go into map creation and all the other cool tips and tricks of the universe as we go on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be a really good resource for you, whether you're brand new to the scene or if you're a bit more experienced but you're looking for a few new things to just kind of ease the quality of your online Heroscape life.
Perfect. Without further ado, let's jump into how to play when joining an online Heroscape event.
Yeah, so what you're going to do is if you go into an online Heroscape event, there will always be the thread for it. So I'll come to this one. This is the one that's currently going on. It'd be season 38, season 39. If it's online through the Heroscaper's website, there will be a thread for it. All you need to do is go to that. Once you're in there, and you'll be tagged, I mean, this will be the place where you sign up, so you should know where it is, but you'll go to the round that you're in. So for example, earlier this week, we played round 3, and you'd scroll down, you'd find where you are, and I'd be like, man, where's Biga? Where's Biga? Oh, here's Biga. Fortunately, this is Heroscape, where the scores don't matter, but you'd come in here and you'd just click on your link. Now, I'm going to actually use a different link because I'm doing a game, or doing an example with BodaciousBlood. So, it could also be a link, like maybe you're in the online Heroscape match request thread, and maybe you get a link from somebody there. Now, wherever it is, you just click on the link, and that'll take you to the game. It's that easy. You won't have to do any setup if you're playing in an event, or if somebody else has already set it up for you. Again, if you want to learn how to set it up, just keep watching after we go through this basic stuff first. But the good news is that if you're participating in an event, you don't have to make it yourself. So that's really nice. But you'll come here and you'll enter a name to log in. You enter, log in, and boom, here you are. You've got your app on the side, you've got your map in the middle, and you're about ready to rock and roll. One thing I do want to say really quick too, right at the top, is the really nice thing about this app is that this is not something you have to download. Like you saw, I just clicked on the link and it took me right here. And the app is just basically, it's kind of like an overlay for a Google Drawings. So it doesn't matter if you're on a Mac, if you're on a Windows, you don't have to download anything. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to sign your life away. You don't have to put in an email address. You don't have to do any of that. You just make up a username, and that can be anything, and you just log in, and that's all it takes. So that's like probably the best thing about it, is how easy to hop into a game it is. So once you get in, you'll be able to, up in this top box, I guess I won't open all of these quite yet so that we can kind of take it a little bit at a time, but you've got your chat menu right here. You'll come right here. This is where you can say, hey, type it, and you click or you hit enter, and boom, it's sent. It's that easy. See? And then you can talk. This is the way, like, it's really nice. It's like any other chat box. That's how most games are played. But also, if you can do an audio connection through Discord, Google Hangouts, anything like that, like Bodacious and I are doing right now, that also just makes it a lot easier a lot of the time, because it's easier to explain to somebody how to, find a button or something like that when you're talking to them. I do recommend that.
Absolutely. And so the chat box is pretty self-explanatory. I think the next thing that we'll move into is grabbing your figures. So
Yeah.
Taylor will run you through on his screen how to find your figures that you want to find and move them onto the sheet.
Yeah, so when you're finding your figures, and when you're first starting out, this can be probably the hardest. Well, not hardest, but like one of the more time-consuming parts. You'll come into Heroscapers, you click on forums, and then you've got to scroll down and find Online Heroscape Games and Events. Not Scapers Online. I click on the wrong one there all the time, but it is Online Heroscape Games and Events. And then you come down to Online HS, Maps and Figures. Click there. And then there's another link right there. You just click this first link. I mean, it's, like I said, just a little bit time consuming. It's just clicking on links and links until you get to this page, Figures, Maps. What I definitely recommend, pro tip, I'm not pro, tip right now, is I would bookmark this page. If you're planning on playing online more than one time, 100% bookmark this page. I've got it so that, like, as soon as I open a new tab, I can just come click on Online Maps and Figures, and it'll take me right to this page. I definitely recommend that, because it just...
That is a pro tip.
Yeah, it just makes it so much faster. So, but once you're here, so you can go into Maps and Figures. We'll do Maps later when we go into map creation. Right now we're going into Figures. And you'll have custom figures, you'll have official figures. Custom figures include things like, here, I'll just show you really quick. We won't go too into detail here, but we've got VC figures, VC Einar, Jandar, Ular, etc. You've got the Heroes of Star Wars Scape figures, you've got C3G, you've got Arena of the Valkyrie. If you're doing playtesting, you can do playtesting stuff over here. Lots of really cool, this is just where you find all of your custom figures. If you're looking for official though, you click on that and it's, pretty much the same thing, right? You've got all your different generals, and that's how the figures are organized. So for example, for this game, for our little demo, I'm going to run 2 squads of Aubrian archers. So I'd come into Ular, I'd find the Aubrian archers, and then I'm going to click on one, shift, click, so that I can click all of them at the same time. Alternatively, you can click and drag. I'm just making sure I've got all 3 selected at the same time. And then you hit your Ctrl+C. For some reason, you can't just right click and click copy. I just tried this, I edited it down a little bit, but if you do that and then you come back to the game and you right click and try to paste, it says, hey, you can't do that. For some reason, I don't know what the difference between right clicking and using the hotkeys is, but there's a difference there. You're gonna come in, you do Ctrl+C, or if you're on a Mac, Command+C, whatever, plus a C button, and then you'll come back to your game and you'll do Ctrl+V, paste them into the game, and boom, there they are. What I like to do is once I've got, especially with squads, once I've got them in here, if I've got multiple squads, I like to pull them off to the side first, hit Ctrl+C again to copy them in this game, and then hit Ctrl+V again, and that'll paste them right there. Otherwise, the second squad also spawns up here, and I mean, you just have to drag it over there. But I mean,
so cumbersome.
I know, right? I just gotta, when you're really looking to up your APMs, this is just a tip.
What's great about Online Heroscape is I don't own 9 squads of Phantom Knights, but on Online Heroscape, I can play 9 squads of Phantom Knights.
Right? Yeah, it's really nice. And if you're like trying to play it's a good way to get into customs if you're wanting to do that as well, because you don't have to buy the figures before you decide whether or not you really want them. you can just like test it out. Same thing with official figures. If you're getting into official, you don't have to spend $50 on a squad of Aubrey and archers. Just to find out that, oh, maybe you don't like their playstyle so much, you can totally just test them out. It's great. And so what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to exit out of that, come back here because I also want some Death Reavers in my army because that's who I am today. One important thing to note with Utgar is you've got Utgar heroes and Utgar squads because he's got just many things in his army, especially for classic. You'll come into the squads. I'm looking for the Death Reavers. Here they are. Click shift, click, click, click. Select all four, Ctrl+C. Come back to my game. Ctrl+V, there they are. Move them over to the side. C, V, V. Boom, and I've got my army. And then you can come back, exit on out of that.
Perfect.
Once both of you have your armies, basically all you've got to do is decide who's placed first. In case Bodacious is placing first, he'll go ahead and place his army. And if this is a more casual game, maybe you're both playing at the same time, that works as well. But a lot of the time for like the online events, there'll be like somebody designated to place first, and so they'll place first.
And most of the time in online Heroscape events, well, all the time in online Heroscape events, the glyphs will be made up for you.
Oh yeah.
But that one quick thing to note, when starting a game, the treasure glyphs are blank, and so we're just going to put glyph of Olnavia here, unique attack +1, and then glyph of Dagmar right there. You know what? I'm feeling crazy. We're going Wannick.
Nice. I like it.
And just kind of, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. If you're coming in, you're playing a game that's already preset. You won't need to worry about the glyphs. We will talk about like how you can randomly determine glyphs later on. So you'll have the glyphs there. They'll be marked. It'll usually just be like the letter. So I'm gonna go ahead and place my army really quick. All right. So now I've got my army placed. He's got his army placed. We're ready to rock and roll.
So I am the only person on this game that has a unique hero that has more than one life, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and put into this wound box my hero and his respective wounds. And so whenever I take wounds, I'll say, he took 3 wounds. That's how I'll represent that. And when he's dead, leave it like that and remove him from the board. We'll go through how to do that as the game progresses.
And then once both of you are ready to go, you're ready to start rolling your dice and get the game underway. Then you're going to come down to order marker management. So what we're going to do here, in Heroscape you use order markers. This is where you set those. You've got your order marker 1, order marker 2, 3, and X. Sometimes you have a double X, that's for specifically if you're playing C3G. But you can come in here and say I want to do turn 1 on Death Reavers. Type Death Reavers. So I'll say, order marker 1, Death Reavers, order marker 2, Death Reavers. I usually won't be saying this out loud so that, BodaciousBlood doesn't know where I'm putting stuff, but right now it's okay. And then order marker 3, Aubrey and Archers. And then, just to be tricky, I'm going to say X is on Death Reavers because I can. And so once you have those filled out, you're going to click Submit Order Markers. Right here, I can see BodaciousBlood has set all his order markers. That's showing me that he's ready. I'll click Submit Order Markers, and it'll show the same thing. What's really nice about this is that it's not showing your opponent where the markers are, it's just saying they're set. This is one thing that I do like as opposed to in real life.
I always peek.
Markers. Yeah, right? Like, this just like gets rid of the temptation entirely. They're ready to go, but it's not like saying where they are. So once both of you have set your order markers, you'll come here and you'll click Roll Initiative and Reveal Order Marker. And so we both
coming out hot.
Oh yeah, nice 19 right there. And so when you do that, that'll reveal where the order markers are. It doesn't reveal like which one it is. That's not the order that he placed them in. You'll notice that with my Aubrey and Archers because my X was not on the Archers. So it does randomize the order, and it just says there's one on here, one on here, one on here, one on here.
I'll go ahead and click Reveal Order Marker 1 on my end, so you won't see that, but reveals it to be Tauren. So I'll take my turn with Tauren, move of 5, so I'll go 1, 2. I'm kind of counting as I'm going, 3, 4, 5, and I drag him to the respective spot. And you can, of course, rotate the figure as needed if I were to step here rather, and that's the fun of online Heroscape. And then when I'm finished with my turn, I'll just end it so Taylor can show you on his end. But it'll notify Taylor that I am finished with my turn.
Yep, and so that is like one thing when you're playing online, you do want to wait until you see the done button because maybe they're still thinking about their move. maybe they've got, like something that they can do after moving that, you forget about. I've done that. So you do want to wait until you see the done button. So once I see that, I come down, I click on my reveal order marker number 1 on the Death Reavers. That will show I revealed order marker 1 on Death Reavers. I'll go ahead and move them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please don't judge my Death Reaver movement because I'm just moving them right now. I'm not really trying to. 3, 4.
You've fallen right into my trap.
I know, right? And just while you're moving, it's just, and when you're doing it in real life, we'll grab it, click it, and you're going to go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't move any further, but I do want this guy out here, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave him there. Maybe this rat, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Counting the levels is maybe one of the trickier parts when you're getting used to the online format, because there are the numbers for the levels, and that makes sense when you see it, but sometimes, it's totally understandable if you miss a level. Sometimes did that a lot when I was new, I know, and that can just be one of the top-down things where it's not 100% intuitive all the time. But
the way that I've always looked at it is, and maybe this doesn't work for a lot of people, maybe I'm just weird, but let's say I'm on level 2 and my Phantom Knight doesn't fly, and I'm trying to get onto step number 4, level 4. I take where I'm trying to go, subtract where I'm from, add 1. That's how much move it's going to cost. So I'm on level 2, I'm going to level 4. 4 minus 2 equals 2, plus 1 is 3. So it costs 3 movement to get from level 2 to level 4. That's probably complicated, but hey, I'm a complicated guy.
I like it.
It's a lot. It costs 3 movement to go from 2 to 4, but it's nice when you're going from 1 to 5, and it costs 5 movement to get there. It's kind of easier to when the board gets a little bit in topography. It becomes easier for me at least to do that. Another pro tip. You heard it here first.
So yeah, once my guys are moved, this is the done button that Bodacious was talking about earlier. I click I'm done with order marker 1 turn. Click that, it'll say the turn action of Bigot is done, and go over to Bodacious.
I'll fly out with my Phantom Knights, move of 6, stealth flying.
Boom, and he's all over this. Maybe he's gonna stay tightly knit.
Done.
Right. I'm gonna reveal my order marker 2, and again, don't judge my playstyle or my calls right now. I'm just trying to show stuff. So basically, I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? My rat can totally kill this Phantom Knight. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right here. I'll be able to make an attack, and then let's see, that 1, 6. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Come at me, bro.
I'm gonna be able to get 2 attacks in.
You can attack up on this Phantom Knight too if you rush out with this rat.
Let's do it. Rat there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'm gonna get 3 attacks in, and
That's how you play online Heroscape. You goad your opponent into rushing out with its rats prematurely.
Okay, this is a bad tip from BodaciousBlood. in online Heroscape, if you rush to your opponent, the players are little good at taking advantage of that. But anyway, what you do is when you're going to attack, first you choose the figure who's going to attack, right? And then you hold shift and click the figure that you're attacking, and that just marks both of them. Obviously you already know who's attacking, but this will show up on Bodacious' screen, and we'll show when he attacks back, just so that you know which figure's attacking, who they're attacking. And then you get to open up the dice tools, or maybe you already have it open up. So when you're here, you've got attack dice and you've got defense dice, and basically all you do is you're like, okay, my Death Reaver has 1 attack, so I'm going to roll 1 die. So I click that, I got 1
nice.
skull.
Whoa.
Jill,
that was
nice.
Close.
I almost got it. So close. And so now, same thing. Gonna come here, shift, Phantom Knight, and I'm gonna attack down. Now I've got 2 dice. And it's really nice because it tells you, you got 1 skull out of 2 dice, 1 shield out of 5 dice. I'm getting close. I'm breaking through. Last one. 1 attack. I am
wow.
nailing these skulls. Again, I want to stop now so that I can feel good about my attack rolls. Even though I didn't kill anything, I still feel good about those attack rolls. But so there's that, and then I'm going to click done, and now it's BodaciousBlood's turn.
All right, Phantom Knights coming at it. Pesky rats.
You know it. getting all up in your business.
And take Wannick,
Ooh,
because I
nice.
can. Alright. I'll attack over with this guy.
Okay. He's going to make his attack. He got the 2 skulls. I'm looking at my rat. I've got 4 defense plus 1 because I'm on shadow, so I'm going to roll 5 dice. And I blanked.
Aha.
So my figure's dead. I'm going to go ahead, drag it off the screen. Just like normal Heroscape, you drag your own figure off of the board. But now I do get to scatter. And so I'm going to be like, all right, my turn to scatter. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are probably the 2 most awkward scatters you will ever see in a game of Heroscape. But what I'm going to do is, so after I'm done with that, it's always important to click done when you're done doing, even if it's not your turn. Since I scattered and now that I'm done with my placement, I'm going to come up to this done button right here and click done. That tells my opponent I'm done scattering, I'm okay with my choices, go ahead. Alternatively, if you're doing an audio chat, you could just say, okay, that's good, I'm done. But especially if you're doing through the text box, yep, make sure you press done after your turn action. So this is whether it's your turn or whether it's like an out of turn thing like scatter, scurry, stuff like that.
Banish with Isamu.
Mm-hmm.
All the goods. And I'll just end my turn right there because I'm feeling confident in my Wannick roll.
Nice, I like it. All right, so I'll go ahead and go with the Aubrey and Archers. This will be nice to show you some ranged stuff. All right, so with my Aubrians, I'm gonna, obviously I'm looking to get some attacks in with range. I'm gonna move 1 right here. Move this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. I'll move this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. When I'm making my attacks, it's the same thing, except now I've got range, so I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, these guys are totally within range. I'm going to go for the one that's not on shadow because that's just a little bit smarter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for Tauren because that's even smarter.
Ooh.
Here, since this shot is pretty clear, I'm not going to worry about checking line of sight right now because, all that my archer can see Tauren. So I'm going to click my archer, click on Tauren, roll my 2 dice.
You're about to be evil-eyed.
Probably.
Am I on high? I am on high.
You are on high, yep.
You just got blocked.
Nice. And if you ever do forget, who's where on height, one nice thing is that you can drag up the figures when you've got them both selected. Boom, I'm on level 1, he's on 2. I just back with the key, and we're ready to go. And then next archer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, can also shoot Tauren. Now we're on even ground. Roll my 2.
Evil-eyed.
Yep, and so now my archer, Gonzo.
Not sure the logistics of how that actually happens, but it happened.
You ever hear that looks can kill? Alright, and then for my last attack, I'm going to be shooting this Phantom Knight. So this line of sight is, still pretty, you definitely have this line of sight, right? But if I want to double check, I can come up to this line tool. When you're doing the line tool, one thing that's a little bit annoying is that there are these points that come up, and so when I try to click, it will go to one of those points as I'm trying to draw my line. So if you want to miss those points, if that's really throwing off how you're drawing your target line, just start farther back where you don't have any target points. Go through the head of your figure and see if you can hit the body of the figure that you're aiming for. In this case, yeah, head, body, I can definitely see that figure. And so I'm definitely good to make this attack. And that gets very useful when there are ramparts, when there are other line of sight blockers on the board. Then to make the attack, I'm going to come back to my select tool. I've still got them both selected, and I'll roll my 2 dice.
So I'm going to roll my 4, but oops, I accidentally forgot about insubstantial. I simply just tell my opponent either through voice chat or say, oops, forgot to roll extra dice for ranged attack. Send, which they will say, okay. And I just click 3 more dice. Wow, I blanked. That's what I get.
That's what
I get.
Yeah, so if you ever roll the incorrect amount of dice, that's fine. If you roll too few, you just roll the extra ones. If you roll too many, then what you're going to do is say, or actually here, one sec. Let me see if I can. Boom, got a 20. Okay, I gotta show this. So I got a 20, I gotta take my frenzy turn. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so say I'm here and I'm attacking Torian again. If I roll too many dice, say I'm going, quickly, whatever, maybe I think I've got a buff that I don't have anymore, and I click on 4. And I'm like, oh wait, hang on, I rolled too many dice. What I'm gonna do is say, sorry, too many dice. And then I'm going to re-roll the correct number, and that's 0. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lower roll. If I re-rolled with 3 dice and I got 3 skulls, I would take the 1 skull. The reason why is just to keep people from being, you don't want to like roll too many dice intentionally and then be like, oh, that was a bad roll. Hey, I rolled too many dice. It just kind of like keeps that, I don't know.
Etiquette.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that etiquette, right? Where you're basically, if you mess up and you roll too many dice, you just take the fall for that. And it's just easier to go that way than, getting into any kind of argument about it. Also, I really like that rule because that does encourage people to remember to roll the right amount of dice, because if you have to re-roll and you take the worst roll, then in the future you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to know exactly how many dice I'm rolling. So really, prevention is the best method, but if you mess up, it's no big deal. You'll just work with it for that situation and keep playing. All right, and so I finished my turn. I'll go ahead, click my d20, see if I get frenzy. I don't, so I'm done. And at this point, we're both done with our round. And so in order to set order markers again, I'm going to come down here and click on show order marker form. That will renew, basically refresh this. I can come back in. I can say, hey, maybe now I want to do all my Aubrey and archers, all that good stuff, or maybe I still want to do Death Reavers. However, I can still set up my order markers, and I can click submit. One thing I do want to show really quick while we're here is we've got this checkbox for add random characters for order marker removing abilities. So for example, if I'm going against spiders, they have their chance to be able to remove order markers from my figures. And so, with these order markers, you can't really tell which one's where. And so I'm going to click add random characters, click submit order markers, and then I'll roll initiative and reveal order markers. What this does is it gives a random number to each of my order markers. So if, Bodacious is playing spiders and he tangles one of my archers, he's now got 2 specific choices to make. And he can say, I choose to remove 3168, for example. And then when I click reveal on that one, I'll say, I revealed on 3168. He stole that order marker. So I will click done because of that turn. One last thing I'd like to show really quick just before we end is the Valkyrie dice. If you're playing a flag bearer, like say you're playing Sir Gilbert and you're rolling for Jandar's Dispatch, in order to get the symbols to show up on your dice, you're going to click roll Valkyrie dice right here. You roll however many, 12 for Jandar's Dispatch, so you roll that. It can be either, attacks or defenses, depending on what you're doing, they'll show up for either one. So in this case, I rolled 12 dice and it'll say now, it adds in, let's say I got 2 symbols, so I can use that for whatever power, as well as this d20 die. If you ever need to roll for a power or anything like that, that's where the d20 die is coming. All right, so that's our gameplay example. As riveting as that was, once you're done, you're going to say GG, and then an important thing to note is that when you're getting out of the game, make sure you click log out. The reason for this is just because of cookies. If you don't click log out and then you try to play another game, if you haven't closed your entire browser, it'll bring up this game instead of the new game. But once you log out, you'll see right here, Bodacious clicked log out. He has left the chat session. He is no longer in the game. And when you click log out, it'll say, are you sure you want to end the session? You click OK. And boom, you're out. It'll take you to the basic app page. This is where, if you don't have a specific game selected, this is the page that you use. And good job. You just played online Heroscape. If you were playing, now you're ready to.
And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section or PM one of us, either Big O Bullfrog or BodaciousBlood on Heroscapers.
Yeah, definitely always open to answer any questions. If you're having any struggle with something, if you're trying to find, a random button that we forgot to talk about, just let us know. We'll definitely hit that up. All right, so next up in our online Heroscape journey, we want to go over how to create a map. If you're trying to make your own not how to like, make a map from the ground up, but if you're trying to make your own game and you're trying to select a map to play on and create that to share with other people, basically make that link that I had at the beginning of the gameplay section. There are a few steps involved, but I think they're easy enough that after you do it a couple times, it'll start to come pretty natural. And so we'll just walk you through it right now. First thing you need to do is you need to choose a map. Where do you find the maps? Well, you'll remember there was that map button earlier when we were looking for figures. So you're going to come to the maps and figures thread. If you don't have that bookmarked, or if you don't have the maps and figures bookmarked already, you'll come to this same thread that we were at earlier. Click on Online Heroscape, Maps and Figures. And this time, you're going to go into the Maps section.
Choose one of your own maps, Bigga.
Am I allowed to be that narcissistic on my channel?
Absolutely. It's your channel, your rules.
Alright, so when you get in here, kind of the same as the figures, you'll see a bunch of sections. You've got your ARV maps, you've got your BOV maps, C3G maps, Heroes of Starwarscape maps, official scenarios, multiplayer, other maps by map creator. You'll see that some of these are listed twice. If it's listed twice, click on the one with the asterisk. I'm not sure why they're listed twice. I can't answer that question, but you're just going to click on the one with the asterisks. Like if you go to BOV maps without the asterisks, it's just going to say this folder is empty. If you're hitting an empty one, just go to the one with the asterisk, and boom.
And if you're looking for good tournament quality maps, BOV, ARV, they all are pretty much solid tournament worthy maps. And then even in other maps by map creator, most of them are just solid maps.
Yeah, and you've got them like, so you've got, your different map creators. Maybe you're a big Dignan fan. You go in here and you've got,
I, for one, am a huge Dignan fan.
Right? You got all these maps you can check out. Some have more, some have less, but there are lots of maps in here. Also got to plug Wargrounds Escape maps. These are really, really good, even though there are only 3 of them. One of them twice. I mean, like, honestly, they're all really good maps. You've even got like the scenarios. It's a really good mix of maps, and it's got a lot of stuff. And if you've ever got like a request for a map to be made, we won't be going over like how to make them yourself, but you can always hit up the maps and figures thread. Just say, hey, this map get made. Could somebody show me how to make this map? People will be more than willing. So if you come to like, the ARV maps and say I'm feeling narcissistic and I want to play on design personally, plug, I'm going to come into From the Ashes. So this will have the board ready. It's got the wound boxes. Everything's ready to go. It says like, the glyphs are on level 2 rock. They're blank, so we can assign those ourselves, but everything's ready to go. Now, the thing is, you can't edit this. You can't move stuff. You can't do any of that. The reason why is because this is like a master template. They don't want these original files to be tampered with so that, somebody comes in and accidentally deletes stuff and then exits and they can't get it back for whatever reason. They just don't want that to happen. And so instead of allowing that there, this is just a master template. What you need to do is you come up to File and you click Make a Copy. This will make a copy. You can name it whatever you want, but this will be a map that you can edit. So come over here.
Ooh.
Right? And so now, like for example, I can come in here and I can like the box around. I can start to edit stuff. I can move the whole map. And I've got my map, which is really exciting. So now that you've got this, in order to share the map and create the game for the app, this is where we really get into the nitty gritty. Honestly, these next couple of steps are probably the trickiest ones, but again, after you've done it a couple times. All right, so now that I've got my drawing ready to go, I'm ready to play on it. What I do need to do first is come here to share so that other people can play on it. If I don't do this step, then basically people won't be able to view or edit the document. So I need to come here, come to this get link area and click to change to anyone with the link. Click got it because that's the same stuff to me. But what I want to do is I want anyone with the link is an editor. That's just going to make it so that whoever I share this link with will be able to edit the document. The drawing. They'll be able to, basically play the game because otherwise they just won't be able to. So I just do that. Then I click done. And then I'm going to begin to create the game. What you're looking for is you're looking for the doc string. This is the string right here. You come to the D/ right here, drawings/D/, and you've got this string of numbers and letters. You're going to highlight all of this up to the next slash. This is the unique string. This is basically this specific file so that you can copy this, put it into the game, and then both you and your opponent can edit it. You're going to come here, you're going to copy it, Ctrl+C, or right click however you desire, and then you're going to go to the app. If you're that's this page, I'm going to exit out of this because if you're going to it just naturally, you're going to come here. I'm going to look at my search history. You're going to go to
you can edit that part out.
Right. You're going to go to heroscapers.com/OHS. Mine is already automatically filling in the rest, but you can just do, even if I take out all of this stuff, all you need is the /OHS or online Heroscape. Hit enter, and that'll take you to the app. Once you get here, you're going to put in your name. You leave the game name blank. It says right here, leave blank to generate a new game, which is what we're doing. So we're going to leave that blank. Here for the Google Doc string, I'm going to Ctrl+V, paste in the string that I copied earlier, and hit enter. Now it's taken me into the game. So now I've got access to both the Google Doc as well as the app so that I can play a game. Now if I'm looking to share this with BodaciousBlood, say I'm coming here and I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to share a game with BodaciousBlood. I'm going to remember, right here. So say I'm going to send a message to him, and it could be here on Heroscapers, it could be on Discord. Say, shall we play a game? I'm going to come right here, and this is like baseline level if you're trying to share stuff. I'm just going to, again, Ctrl+V, paste in the Google Doc string. And then, but now, since I've got a specific game that I'm in, I've created this game room. Now I'm going to come here to where it says game name. I'm going to copy this. I highlight this. It always ends with .html. Ctrl+C to copy it. Come back here. Then I'm just going to put that on a separate line. Ctrl+V. There we go. I'm going to submit the message to him, and he'll be able to enter the game. And I will also how to do that. So say I'm BodaciousBlood in this situation, and I'm looking at, so pretend I'm BodaciousBlood, or BodaciousBlood sent me these bits of information. If I'm going to get into the same game as him, I'm going to come to the online app, same thing we saw earlier. I'm going to put in my name. For the game name, I'm going to come here and I'm going to do the .html. Copy. Paste it right there. Google Doc string, same thing as we did earlier. Click the Google Doc string, Ctrl+C. Come here, Ctrl+V. Enter. And that'll take me to the same game. This is like the same game room that I was in earlier. It'll have the whole history of everything that happened earlier in it. And so now you'll see that BodaciousBlood, we had a little bit of a blooper reel right there, but BodaciousBlood is now in, and we'll be able to play the game. He can come in, he can edit the wound boxes, he can come in here and say, we got sucks scores. I don't know why he did that, but that's definitely within his power. You can see right there, he's bringing in some figures. I can do the same thing as well. I'll let him do that. I'll let him set that stuff up. If you need to add anything to the map, it's really, really easy. Like say you're playing a multiplayer game and you want another wound box, you just copy, paste. Same thing, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, boom, you've got another box. If you're trying to do glyphs, you just come up here and click on text box. They'll come right here. You'll want to shorten your box a little bit because it starts off ginormous. But say we're doing the Olanova from earlier. I'm just going to type a U in that box. I'm going to highlight it, make it white so that it stands out against the glyph. And then I'm just going to move it right there. And then if I'm doing the second glyph, really easy. All you do is Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V that thing. And then it's this right size. You don't have to resize it again. You just come in here and I type W. And boom, we've got Wanok.
And really, that seems like a lot of steps, but after you do it 2 or 3 times, it just comes naturally.
Mm-hmm.
The real big things to emphasize are remember to share the document. That's probably what causes the biggest headache for me when trying to build a map. But after after you do it a number of times, it becomes second nature.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I compare it to playing Heroscape in real life, because there are a lot of steps to set up a map in real life too. But once you've done it a couple times, once you know like how glyphs are going out, stuff like that, it becomes, you know, pretty easy. It's just your early game setup. You just start to remember those steps. Another really good one to look at is this online Heroscape link generator. So if you're looking to make a link, earlier we talked about how to share the game, and we went through the process of, you know, we found the HTML, we found the Google Docs string, and we just shared those separately. If you're looking to just make the link like we were using at the beginning of the video, you just come into here. It's got this spreadsheets. You're gonna come up to file and make a copy just like we did earlier. They're doing that again, you know, just because this is the master copy, this is the master template, this, you know, just so that people don't come in and accidentally mess it up. You just make your copy, and then you can come here, you know, get whatever map that you're working on. If I'm doing this map that I did earlier, I'm gonna copy the whole URL this time. I don't have to worry about the specific string. I just do the whole URL. I come here, I'm gonna delete that on out of there and put in my URL. And then I still need the game name as well. I'm gonna go to my game, copy the game name like I did earlier, come here and same thing. Delete that out, then copy in my, like the one that I want to do, and now we've got the finished URL. If I click on that, that's going to take me to this. All I have to do is put in my name and log in just like I did earlier in the video. If I want to share it with somebody, I just click copy link, and then I can go to the message, I can go to the Discord, I can, you know, share it wherever I'm wanting to with, you know, friend.
Which is me.
Yeah, share it with Bodacious. We'll have an awesome game. And that way he doesn't have to worry about putting in the information himself. He can just, you know, click the link and be right there. That's a really, really good tool to be able to use.
When you have a friend like Bigga, you never have to do any work when it comes to online Heroscape.
I do like to find ways to just make it easier.
Especially when playing against him. Booyah.
Hey.
Just kidding.
I mean, you're not wrong, but hey. If you're looking to do glyphs, like say you're looking to do glyphs, but you want to do some random glyphs, there is a trick that you can do, I don't know, quote unquote trick, just a nice tip for you. What you can do is you can make a glyph pool to roll from. So for example, I'll just do one right here really quick. You don't have to type this out every time. What I do is I have a, basically I've just got another document that I always use, and I copy and paste, but since I'm doing this one from scratch, I'll do it right here. You just make a box right here, and you're like, say I want in my pool I probably messed up that name. Lanova, say I want like 5 glyphs in my pool. I've got Lanova, and that'll be a 1 to 5. And I want Kelda, that'll be a 6, 10. Then I want Balda for an 11 to 15. Manak, that'll be a 16 to. So now I've got my rolling pool, and then I just have to decide, you know, I'm probably going to go from left to right. I roll the d20 2 times, and I get 2 20s. Oh man. Oh man.
2 Wanix.
If I get the same number twice, this is actually perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better situation. If I get the same number twice, I'll just put, you know, Wanak on the left, and I'll just roll again for the one on the right until I get a different glyph. Alright, so it's a 6, so, you know, for this one, I could come here, and if I want to edit it, I can. I just change that to Wanak. I come over here, change that to Kelda. If you have treasure glyphs on your map, or like say you want to add treasure glyphs to your map, one thing you can do is find a glyph, or sorry, find a map that does have treasure glyphs. So right here I pulled up Pure Gold by Superfrog really quick. You can just click on that, Ctrl+C. You can just copy that individual piece. So Ctrl+C, you'll just come over here, Ctrl+V, and that'll put it right onto the map. And treasure glyphs do come with this, you know, these question marks on top. That's so that when you do get a glyph out of it, say I get the Belt of Giant Strength, I can put GS right there for Giant Strength. And that way I can remember what glyph that is. Oops. If you're having troubles with, like right now, for example, I'm having a thing where if I move my treasure glyph, the letters stay behind. If you want to merge those together, then you just have to like click one, shift click so that you've got both selected at the same time. And then you right click, and you're going to see this group button. And you just click on group. That's going to make just merge it so that it's all one thing. That way you don't have to worry about clicking both at the same time. Now you can click that, move it away, and you move it again, keep moving it. And so that's just a really easy way. That right click group button, or right now it's ungroup, but grouping things together like that can be a lifesaver when you're dealing with treasure glyphs or other similar situations. Once you get a treasure glyph, say you've got a few heroes going on here, like say you've got biggest Suxors and Bodacious Rock Sword. Say these are our heroes because we're using customs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like what I used to do is I used to like try to put the glyph on top of like who the hero was, right? I don't recommend that. Just bring the glyph, put it by your wound box, and then what you can do is come in here and say, if I want, like say I want Bodacious to have it, I'm just going to put GS by his name, and that just marks, all right, this guy's got the glyph. That way you don't have to worry about like drawing lines, drawing arrows, anything like that. You can keep a lot of information in the wound box. I mean, drawing arrows also works. I just think personally it's easier to just type it right there because then you're not worrying about like making sure arrows are the right way.
I agree.
Right, and so now we're like kind of getting heavily into our tips and tricks portion of the video. So we're going to be able to like showcase a lot of cool, just like tips, tricks, quality of life things. Probably my favorite aspect of playing online is that if I throw the table and like I throw the map clear over there, what's really nice about the online format is you can always press Ctrl+Z, fix all of your problems. If I move a figure and I don't want it to be there and I want to put it back, I can Ctrl+Z and it's right back to where it was. I don't have to be like, okay, where was it? Can I get it like specifically back on those spots? I just have to Ctrl+Z and it's right back to exactly where it was. Being able to undo at will is probably the best part of playing on.
I agree.
Alternatively, say, I've got a figure up here and I'm like, I don't want him there, Ctrl+Z. But then I'm thinking a little bit more and I'm like, wait, actually I did want him there. The redo, or like, in order to undo your undo or whatever, if you do Ctrl+Y, that will basically take you the step forward. So you're like, maybe I Ctrl+Z'd and I'm like, wait, I wanted him there, but where exactly was he? I can just do Ctrl+Y and boom, there he is.
This is especially helpful when you say you've moved 3 of your squad figures and you're like, man, I do not remember where I came from. Ctrl+Z, 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 and you're like, oh, okay. Ctrl+Y, Ctrl+Y, Ctrl+Y. And that's especially helpful.
Yeah. Also helpful if, like, say you move too many figures per turn, or maybe you don't remember how many figures you moved in a turn. You can Ctrl+Z a couple times to see how far back that goes, as far as you moving your figures goes. And then, you'll be able to know, did I move too many? Do I still have a couple left to move? And then you can just Ctrl+Y to put them back to where they were, so you don't have to worry about, like remembering where they are right now so that you can move them back, so that you can move them back. It's just Ctrl+Z, Ctrl+Y, those are your best friends when you're playing online. Another thing I want to showcase as well is this quick message menu. So this is a nice thing. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but it does have a few things that are really, really nice here. So you can do like attacking highlighted, but that's always obvious. What I usually check or use this for is like, for example, we saw Bodacious do this earlier. You can remind your opponent to press done. You'll click on that message that you want to send, you click send, and it says please press done after your turn in action. You can also do it, I use it a lot for the initiative. Say we tie on initiative and I want to reroll initiative. I can just roll the d20. I just get a kick out of clicking roll for initiative and clicking send, and it will say I rolled this for initiative. Or BodaciousBlood, there's also the roll for Wannock. You can do that and it'll say you rolled the 16 for Wannock, and it just kind of specifies. Again, you can just roll the d20, but if you just roll a d20, then it doesn't say like what it's for. So I just like the specificity right there. Got some more examples right here. Asking for people to roll for leaving engagement. That's really useful. And then the best one probably is I blame filthy. That's right here at the bottom. If you ever hate your die roll, if you ever think something about this app is messed up and it's just a garbage app, you can always blame Filthy. He is the designer of the app. He made it, and he put the button in there so that you can blame him whenever you want. No matter what your problem is, no matter what your worries are, you can always blame Filthy. And so just going through here, you can see like there's end of round, there's new round, place order markers. You can say that you're ready. In addition to remind your opponent to press done, you can do all of this stuff. Again, you don't use most of it during a game, but it is just nice to be aware of it. Oh, yeah.
Another tip and trick that we should probably bring up is highlighting and coloring figures that are hard to distinguish, or you have multiple uncommon figures. So I'll bring in the Fen Hydra and simply put, Taylor will run you through on his screen how to highlight the two different Hydras.
Yeah, this is a great example. So if you've got your two different Hydras right here, basically you need a way to distinguish between the two. All right, so if you're trying to distinguish between which Hydra is which, the easiest way, this is the way that I usually do it, really quick, is I just put a border around it. So you can just click on this little border weight and put a border around one, and then boom, you've got one with a border and one without. But if you want to do the different colors, which you'll probably see if you're watching other of my videos, not to plug myself too much, but that is something that you'll see, or if you're playing with other people, how you do that is, sorry, I'll do that again really quick. You click the figure, and then you come up to Format Options. And then once you're in Format Options over here on the side, you go to Recolor. Right now, its format is no recolor, but I can click this drop down, and then it's got a lot of different options that I can do. I can do black, I can do turquoise, I can do pink, purple, blue, etc. Actually, I really like the white one, so I'm going to go with the white one because I think that's pretty cool. I guess that's just negative. Oh, that's cool. I like that. But so now I've got one that's white and one that's normal. And so just like Bodacious did up here, when you put in your wound box, you're going to put Hydra white, Hydra normal. And then boom, you've distinguished. If you've got like 8 Hydras, you can make them all different colors.
And you're a cheater.
or you're playing a crazy format.
Yeah.
And really quick, this will be randomly inserted in, which I apologize for, but I did remember one more thing that I forgot to record with BodaciousBlood, so please excuse the interruption, but I just realized this while watching another game that I was recording. This is a problem that I've seen a lot that people will have when playing online, is sometimes figures are underneath each other as far as like the layers of the drawing goes. So for example, say, I've got this orc right here, and I want to attack this green scale that's underneath Nilfheim, but I try to click on it, and I'm like, I can't, like, Nilfheim's in the way, I can't, let's see, try to get it right there, oh no. One thing you can do is you can just move Nilfheim and then attack and do that. That's kind of, I don't know, for me, it's kind of a pain to be able to like do that, right? Especially if I want to like move this guy, say I want to move him right there, I've got to do that, and then I got to put Nilfheim back. And if you're going to play a longer game, then that can just get very repetitive and very, it's just kind of a slog to go through. So Ctrl+Z, Ctrl+Z. One thing that you can do, like especially if you notice early on that Nilfheim's layers are on top of the green scales and it's just going to be hard to grab stuff, select Nilfheim, hold Control, and press the down arrow key. And that's going to move him down through layers. You'll probably have to do it a few times, but you saw right there. So if I go back up, okay, so he's on top of the green scale. If I go down just one more time now, the green scale is now on top of Nilfheim, and I don't have to move Nilfheim. I can do it again, and now this green scale back here is also on top of the Nilfheim layer. And so you can just do that. Honestly, just keep going until Nilfheim disappears. Boom, now he's underneath the map. Just bring him back up, so Ctrl+Up, and now he's just one layer above the map, and it's so much easier in the long run. Again, especially if like you notice early on in the game that Nilfheim is going to be a higher layer, just put him back there. It's going to save a lot of headache throughout the game. And now I can just straight up click these guys. I only hit Nilfheim if I'm clicking a Nilfheim specific area, but otherwise these other figures are going to be on top. Same thing back here, like Grimnack doesn't have terrible overhang, but other figures can still have that too. So like if I'm trying to get Savaris, for example, I can just click this bottom part of Savaris and do that. Or, same thing. Get Grimnack, Control down, down. Boom. Now he's underneath Savaris, and now I can just click Savaris. I can click this green scale that I want to attack, and I can roll my dice. It's that easy. It will save a lot of headache, especially again, in the beginning of a game, it can save you an hour of having to dance Nilfheim back and forth in order to get figures that are under his wing. So yeah, good. Just a tip wanted to share. And now we'll go back to BodaciousBlood's more soothing and sonorous voice. And then just while we're in this wound box area, I'll make mine a little bit more serious here. Say I've got Raylan, and she's got 0 out of 5. Say I've got Q9, because I'm that guy. Say I'm Doc, and I've got Raylan and Q9. You can keep track of a lot of stuff in this area. Like, for example, we already saw, you can keep track of different uncommons. You can keep track of, like, say Q9 has the Belt of Giant Strength. I can put GS right there. Boom. He's got the Belt of Giant Strength. And you can keep track of lots of other things in here as well. So one big example that you might see a lot are Mesodemons. Mesos have the Exoskeletons. So you can type Exoskeleton, or Exoskeletons in here. Say I've got, I don't know, 3 squads, and so I've got 6 Exoskeleton marks. I can just do Exoskeleton 6, and then as I lose them, I can go, down to 5, down to 4, down to 3, etc. Just lots of stuff that you can keep track in the wound box. Definitely a really good tool to utilize. I mean, it's just a text box. You're just typing things out, but just being aware of like all the things that you can type in there is just really nice. Because the treasure glyph is nice, right? Or say I've got Finn in my army and Finn is dead. I can do Raylan and I can type Finn by her name, and now I can remember Finn is on her card, giving her +1 attack. Alright, so, and then also for this hypothetical game that we've got going on here, this is kind of a weird board we've got going on, but another trick you can do, well, I guess it's not a trick, but another resource you probably need when you're playing a game of Heroscape is you probably want to be looking at the card, especially if you don't remember, say, for example, how the Hydra's reach works, or what the cutoff roll for Sudama's Stair of Stone is. There are a few ways you can do that. All of them are pretty easy, and they're all recommended. One is that probably the easiest way is if you're looking for a specific card. Say I'm looking for Sudama. I can always type Sudama, and I just type Book of Heroscapers, because that'll take me directly to link number 1, the Book of Sudama Heroscapers. I click on that. That'll take me to the Heroscapers page. The card is right here. I can just look at it. I can be like, okay, cool. So it's a 7 or higher for the squad, 17 or higher for the hero. And that way, if you just have this tab open, you can always go back and forth. You can have a couple open. Maybe you've got one for your Hydra. Maybe you've got one for an opponent's card that you're not super familiar with. You can always jump those tabs. If you don't want to jump tabs, or say you're playing with a figure that neither of you guys are very familiar with, maybe you're playing a new card, you can come here and click Copy Image. Come back to this page, and then you're going to have to do the Ctrl+V, because that's how it works. But now you've got the card right here. You just come here, bring it over to the side. You can resize it as you'd like, but if it's a little big, you can always scroll over and check it out really quick if you need to. This is really nice. Again, if it's a newer figure, it sometimes is easier if you can both see it at the same time, and say maybe you're trying to underline something. You can underline a part of it with the line tool so that both of you can see the specific part of what you're looking at. Another resource for cards that you can use is you can come over to Google, and it's called Battle Plan. If you do Battle Plan Heroscape, hit enter, you've got this Battle Plan for Heroscape Mythical. So click on that, and this is like another website that has cards on it. It's got all of the classic cards. It's got some of the like custom cards as well. C3G, it's got some Valhalla customs. It isn't completely up to date, so if you're like going heavy into customs, it might not be the best resource. But if you're just doing, your normal classic cards, you can come in here, you can click on a card, and it'll have all of this stuff for you. It's also got, this is just a cool thing to explore anyway. We won't go too much into detail with it, but it's got stats. You can build armies with it. It's a really cool website to just explore.
Believe it or not, I have never seen that website before. You learn something new on 10 Points Under.
Oh yeah, that's our goal. And then also really quick, BodaciousBlood and I are going to simulate a battle really quick. Say we're rolling attack dice, and maybe I'm rolling attacks, and maybe I'm rolling some defense, and I'm attacking again. Basically, we're just trying to get some numbers in there. Anyway, basically, say we've played a really long game together. You know, we've had some attacks on both sides, we've had some defense on both sides. Really cool thing that this app does is you can come down to the stats box, click on view game stats. This will tell you and show you what your stats are for your dice. So I can look right here. I have rolled 48 out of 85 attack rolls, like 48 out of 85 dice were skulls. That's 56%. 28 out of 72 were shields. That's 38%. So I'm like rolling above average right now. Bodacious, on the other hand, has 15 out of 39 or 38% attack rolls, which not
typical BodaciousBlood.
Typical BodaciousBlood. Yep. His defense rolls, and there you go. You just blame Filthy. If you don't like your stats, blame Filthy. Defense rolls, 31 out of 88, 35%. So that's pretty good. I've still got the better stats, but I mean it's cool to be able to track that. And so right here we've got Bodacious just rolled some more dice for us. If I want to refresh this, then I just come down, scroll down, click View Game Stats again. That will refresh the page. And now look, his attack percentage has gone up. Now he's up to 42%, and his defense dice are actually down to 32%. Or sorry, 33%. That's actually average. 33.7, like as average as it gets for defense.
So be sure, if the dice are not in your favor early in the game, to screenshot the stats so you can blame the dice at the end of the game, even though the stats have probably averaged out.
Yeah.
If you're looking forward to playing a game of online Heroscape today, after this video inspired you to play a game of online Heroscape, don't wait for the next OHS event. You can go onto heroscapers.com and request a game, and there's always people willing to play.
Yeah, exactly. So if you come here and you come to the forums, like we did earlier, you're going to come down to Online Heroscape Games and Events. Click into here, and I also always have this linked in my videos, so you can get a direct link there, or you can come here to this forum, and you're going to find the Online Heroscape Match Request thread. This is a thread where people are always, coming in. They're saying, hey, I can play today until this time. I'm looking for a game. You look today, 5:14 p.m. my time. Just a few hours ago, there was a game set up between two players who were just looking for a game. There are always players looking to play. An Online Heroscape Match Request thread, especially if you're new, you just come in here, type right here, you're like, hey, I'm new. Can anybody help me with a game? Tons of awesome, nice people in here who will come in, say, yeah, we'll play a game, figure a game out with you. They'll help you get set up. They'll walk you through the process. And if it's Kevin Dola, they'll beat you soundly, but that's okay.
Quite soundly.
Also in this forum, there are more, as you might imagine in the official forum for the Online Heroscape Games and Events, there are lots of tools. So we already saw the maps and figures. You've got this how to play and question dump. So you can come in here if you've ever got like a question, you just come here and you ask a question. You've got this notable threads. If you come here, you can look at stuff like etiquette and best practices. You can look at the Champions of Valhalla. You can look at the pairing rules. It's got a lot of those details if you're ever, curious about that stuff. So this is another good thread to check out. And then just like one more thing, just like as we're getting ready to close this off, again, text boxes are always nice. You've got your wound boxes, you've got your glyph pool. Say you're playing with like multiple players. Say you're playing like, 3+ players in a free-for-all or something like that. You can come over here and you can say, hey, our order is Bodacious, and then it's Biga, and then it's Superfrog, or whoever else is playing with you. You can keep track of, just like, this is your notepad over here. You can put whatever notes on the side that you want. As long as you remember that, you'll have an easy time playing Heroscape online, because you'll be able to keep notes wherever you want to, whenever you want to, and it just makes things easy.
You got me all excited about a surprise cameo of Super Frog, but he's not here.
Awesome.
We should have phoned him in. Once again, if after you've watched this video saying, okay, I've got it, but you want a recap of specific pieces, be sure to go into the description of the video and click on the little timestamps. Biga loves links in the description.
It's true, yeah. There'll be timestamps, there'll be chapters. You can jump to whatever part of the video you want to. If you're looking for more help, I will have linked the forum, the question dump, all that stuff in the thread, in the description below, so that you can go straight there. You don't have to spend time, looking through the forums. You can go straight there. We're definitely, myself, BodaciousBlood, and I mean anybody else in the online Heroscape community, definitely great people. They will always help you out. They're always willing to answer any questions. There's really no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to online Heroscape, because it's a lot of stuff to learn, but it's also all very, like, the more you know, basically, the easier it gets to play online. And so I definitely encourage learning as much as you can and asking questions and figuring things out.
And if you're listening to this and you've never played online Heroscape before, I say do it. I am not a great Heroscape player, but I really enjoy playing with people that are great. It teaches me a lot. And the way that the game is played online is so unique to how it's played in person. Just the different perspective of how you see the map, how you see the figures, how you see your opponent's order markers, and it's super high level. It's super fun, and it's really improved my game. And so that's my little plug for online Heroscape. If you're watching this, you haven't played it, give it a try and keep giving it a try, because you're going to learn a lot by playing with great players in a great high level format.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I definitely second that. Playing online also, for me, like, increased my play. I haven't played a ton online for a little bit, and it's kind of showing in this tournament that I just joined. But you play against so many different people. You play against such a strong variety of people that, like, it does nothing but improve your gameplay. It's also fun because the people are all nice. Like,
Very.
I've had tons of fun games online, especially where, like, Discord, especially there are Heroscape Discords that you can join. They that allows you to have a really easy voice connection with who you're playing with, and things just get easier and easier all the time. You still have, I mean, let's be honest, it's still not 3D, which is a little bit of a bummer. But when you get to play with people across the country, and I mean, honestly, across the world, sometimes played against somebody in Canada in one of the online con events, and I just played against Agent Ward from France a little bit ago. It's really, really cool to be able to just have that variety, going beyond whatever physical or geographic limitations you have, especially in 2020.
Thanks for having me on this video. It's been fun to put this together.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad you were able to join for this.
I don't envy your next editing task, though.
I think probably the most fun thing, and I will say this for the viewers because you might find this fun as well, you go back to the beginning and look at when we started the video and when we ended, and compared to how long the video itself actually is. I do anticipate a lot of editing for this video, and a good amount of bloopers. So
A good amount.
But I mean, it's fun. I'm really excited to get this out to people so that you guys can start playing online if you haven't already. And so thank you guys for joining us for this. Thank you, Bodacious, for helping me out with this cool project.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be on 10 Points Under, my favorite YouTube channel.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank you guys, as always, for watching the content. Again, if you've got any questions or any ways that this could be improved, please let me know. And we will hopefully see you guys playing online here soon. This will be 10 Points Under and out.
Woo!
Is it weird to say that playing Heroscape Online has helped me in a lot of real life areas, like group projects and stuff, because of how used I am to working with Google stuff now?